as representatives from 85 South Korean private companies will meet with Burmese counterparts during an economic cooperation forum in April to enhance trade between the two countries. The Korea Trade Investment Promotion Agency said participants would have one-to-one trade and investment business meetings and construction and infrastructure meetings on economic development plans and strategies. Large conglomerates will include Samsung, Daewoo, and POSCO Steel. The South Korean companies will seek investments in construction, mining, agriculture, electricity, energy, logistic, freight forwarding, vehicles, auto parts, communication and multimedia, iron and steel, agro-fishery, timber and wood, financing, real estate, garment, transport, hotel and tourism, civil engineering and industries, the agency stated. Commercial trade between the two countries reached $970 million in 2011, according to the Korean statistics. South Korea's export to Burma amounted to $660 while its import from a Southeast Asian country was about $300 million. While South Korea mainly imports garments, textile, forestry products, agriculture and marine products, while exporting construction materials, machines, iron and steel. While South Korea's total investment in Burma was $2.9 billion as of January 2012 in 48 projects since the country opened to foreign investment in late 1988. Daewoo is one of Burma's largest foreign investors with extensive holdings in the oil and gas industry. While most European and Western oil and gas companies do not conduct business in Burma on account of economic sanctions and its poor human rights record, Daewoo has developed natural gas production in Burma, and during explorations, Daewoo found out about the largest gas deposits in Southeast Asia in the Show field about 100 kilometers off Sittaway in Rakhine State.
And still moving on with our regional news, Kumpasurang, as the electricity and coal producers in Vietnam are preparing to deal with a sharp increase in production costs as a result of the latest fuel price hike. The increase in petroleum prices that took effect on March the 7th of between 600 Vietnamese dong and 2,100 per liter will have significant impact on most industries, particularly power and coal production, industry insiders say. Nguyen Van Bien, Deputy Director of the Vietnam National Coal and Mineral Industries Group, or Vinacomen, said that the corporation's production costs would increase by 390 billion Vietnamese dong, or $18.73 million, as diesel prices have increased by 1,000 Vietnamese dong from 20,400 Vietnamese dong to 21,400 Vietnamese dong per liter. It would create a big burden on the coal industry, particularly in the production of coal for power generation, Bien said. The latest adjustment in coal prices for electricity production, which was done in March 2011 with an increase of 5%, had helped Vinacomen collect an additional 200 billion Vietnamese dong from selling about 11 million tons of coal to the electricity industry. However, he said the adjusted coal prices accounted for only between 51 and 55% of coal production costs. In February this year, Vinacomen proposed raising the coal price for power production to a level equal to production costs, but it has yet to receive a response from concerned agencies. According to Vinacomen official, the production cost of coal has now reached 1 million Vietnamese dong per ton, while coal is now sold to electricity generators for just 600,000 Vietnamese dongs per ton. A report by Dow 2 Investment newspaper says that except for hydroelectricity plants that are not affected by the fuel price hikes because they use water for running their turbines, all other kinds of electricity generation will suffer direct or indirect impacts of the fuel rate changes.
The Philippines' largest gold miner said Wednesday it is keen to invest in Myanmar as the former military-ruled state makes tentative political reforms and tries to lure investors with tax breaks. Philex Mining Corporation has sent representatives to Myanmar in recent weeks to look at opportunities and assess the investment climate, company senior Vice President Michael Toledo told AFP. He said Myanmar is opening up and a lot of businesses are really looking at the country. We do not want to be left behind. He said Philex was eyeing metallic minerals and even natural gas in Myanmar, but did not disclose which local companies they were dealing with. Toledo added that they are looking at the regulatory framework, the political landscape, how business is run there, who are the people to talk to. This is a regular due diligence that companies do. Toledo said the company, which posted a record net income of 5.8 billion pesos, or around $136 million in 2011, is also eyeing investments in gold and copper in Indonesia. He stressed that the talks were exploratory and that no commitments had been made just yet.
United Nations leader Ban Ki-moon starts a four-nation Asian tour on Monday that will culminate a nuclear safety summit in South Korea, a UN spokesman said. Ban will start in Indonesia and go on to Malaysia, Singapore and South Korea, UN spokesman Martin Neserki said. The UN Secretary General, now into his second five-year term, will hold talks with President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, Foreign Minister Marty Natalegawa, and Health Minister Endang Rahayu Setyaningsih during 2 days in Indonesia. He will also give a keynote speech at the start of Jakarta International Defense Conference. Ban arrives in Malaysia on Wednesday, and there will hold talks with Prime Minister Najib Razak and Foreign Minister Anifah Aman. He will visit the Malaysian Peacekeeping Training Center. In Singapore, from Friday, the UN chief will hold talks with President Tony Tan, Keng Yam, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong, and Foreign Minister K. Shanmugam, the UN said.
Welcome to now super good news for the Gadget Geek. Well, Apple fans in Tokyo were among the first to get their hands on the new iPad, right, which went on sale in Japan and several other countries on Friday. Where more than 450 people queued outside Apple's flagship store in the glitzy shopping area of Ginza in downtown Tokyo, waiting for doors to open at 8 a.m. local time. The new iPad is Apple's third version and sports a faster processing chip and a sharper screen, of course, the revolutionary Retina display. It works with a faster cellular network called 4G. At the front of the queue, one customer said he had been waiting in line since Wednesday. Hirokaku Kumigai, who had been in line since Thursday and owns an iPad too, said he was most excited about the new screen. In Japan, reservations were only available through Apple's online store. Aside from Apple stores, the iPads were also being sold from mobile phone carrier SoftBank's outlets. Besides Japan, the new iPad will be sold on Friday in the US, Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Singapore, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom at 8 a.m. in each time zone. The device will also be sold in 25 additional countries a week later, on March 23rd.